Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's Maverick here with episode 7 of 86. Can you imagine if we had actually 86 episodes of 86? Oof. Anyways, back to the situation at hand. Well, we are, or at least the spearheads, are heading off towards a base, right? Courtesy of orders from High Command, and, might I say, it's a trap! But anyways, yeah, I mean, beyond that, I don't think we really know anything else. Let's see, right? If I were to venture a guess, I would say that because of the situations of this particular episode and, you know, the context, the scenario that they are in, this is probably going to be the episode or the battle where Shin gets reconfirmation of his brother, right? In fact, it might even just appear right out here in this particular battlefield. But let's see about that and get into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. I feel like I should really start paying attention to, like, the dates and whatnot. Because obviously, they're making... Oh, you see? Once again, we have the juxtaposition between the daily lives of the soldiers and the, the realities and harshness of war and death. The fireworks. How many others of the 86 do you guys think will die before we reach the end of this series? I'm guessing a lot. Heck, I actually wouldn't even put it past him to kill off, like, everyone from the spearheads. Except Shin. And heck, even Shin might eventually die himself, right? With how because certainly I feel like the anime isn't pulling any punches when dealing with the character deaths and whatnot, right? The harsh realities of war. Alright. A bribe, eh? Revolution Festival. Get yourself together, girl. I wonder what she sent them. Considering all that, I'm actually willing to bet that it's probably some sort of morale boost, right? Like ice cream or whatnot? Or cake? Or something of that sort? But no. Well, definitely not. Definitely not ice cream, but... I wonder if things more than just voices are syncing with her right now, right? Because the para rate. Yeah, especially since she doesn't have like visuals either. Huh. I actually always thought that she was being affected by this because not only voices, but even the senses, other senses were being synced with her as well, right? Like how you know. Anyways, as I was saying, I actually kept thinking that like the feelings that those members get from their dying moments was being synced with her, and that's what was causing her to really, really freeze up, right? Especially since all the other controllers kind of went crazy with everything, right? I I highly doubt that that's caused by just voices. All right, so once again. Hmm, really? That easy? Hmm. I don't know. I have my doubts about this situation. Hmm. Oh, those fireworks. Ah, okay. Like I said, morale boost. Wait, is she watching the... No, that can't be possible. A nice proper gun salute. You know, even though this is all like really, you know, heartwarming and all that, but with the way things are going with this series, with war films in general, you can just feel that, or to me, anyways, I just feel like right after this, we're gonna get into one really tragic situation. This scene, though, was great, right? With the arching music and whatnot. Really, really nice. Hmm. Oh, cash election. Hmm. What else is going on here? Tell her what? And what is that on her back, though? That branding. What the hell? This is certainly being very cryptic about everything. Okay, here we go. The battle, right? Like I said, after everything, all the setup and whatnot, you definitely get a sinking feeling for this particular mission. Wait, so that, ooh, air support, eh? Is that a railgun? Did anyone die there? Or... Alright, so here's the truth of the situation or whatnot. They were basically sent to die. Now, honestly, I'm not that surprised about this turn of development. It's definitely messed up, but I am not surprised at all. Okay, this part is important though. Wait, so... Huh. So there actually are normal Elbas here? Or at least mixed blood Elbas. There we go, out blazing! Yeah! Yeah, this is something I questioned from the very beginning, right? Like, why do they fight? This is important. Yeah, this is gonna be hard on Lena. Oh. Ending, eh? I feel like there might be a little bit more after. Once again, I really like the entire script of this story is great. Really, really great. Actually, I think 86 is supposed to be a light novel adaptation, right? But you know, even if it were, it's very rare for me to not have any complaints at all that, I feel like this isn't really done very well, the original must have been much better, right? In this case, though, you know, you gotta give props to them. The pacing, the storytelling, the build-up of all the other stuff, and what makes an anime great, right? The visuals, the sound, and whatnot, to build up to the already great story and characters that they have. The adaptation is doing a fantastic job. Alright, let's see if it's a preview or are we gonna get Lena's perspective. Oh. Oof. Yeah, they are getting toasted one by one. Oh. Cool. Actually, I think that's a preview. Anyways, see you guys after this. Well, alright guys, so this is supposed to be like the big reveal episode, right? Where we finally understand the horrifying truth about the 86 and all that. But honestly, I think, you know, most people could probably see it coming a mile away. Certainly I was, throughout the entire series so far, questioning a lot of the you know, the systems that were implemented, right? Like, for instance, why do they actually have term services? What happens to them after their term, and so on and so forth? Honestly, even from the very beginning, I was thinking that this is a fight till you die kind of situation here. So the fact that they actually had term services and everything really confused me a lot. But hey, there we go. So this actually goes back to my original assumption, and that is that they are here to fight to the death, right? But with this confirming this situation here, we actually can also infer some other theories about like the Republic and maybe the military and so on and so forth, right? Like for instance, the entire fact that they are sending the 86 to fight the Swarm maybe is just because they want to send them out to be executed, right? This is a systematic removal of all the other races other than the Albas, right? So it's not a case where, oh, because we need to have this ethical method of fighting a war or so on and so forth. It's just because, you know, somebody within the Republic, like those in power, they want to eradicate the Republic of all the other races, and so they're just using this as an excuse, and quite a clever excuse at that, to basically send them all out to be killed, right? And what this also tells us is that perhaps, because think about it like this, right? If they are so intent on sending the 86 to be killed and whatnot, of course they should also understand the possibility that the 86 might not fight, right? Like certainly we see this entire situation at the very end here where, you know, they're saying like, okay, for our pride, this is our decision that we made and so on and so forth, and that's great and all, right? And that was definitely a great rousing speech as well. But I'm saying that from the Republic perspective, they had to, you know, they obviously don't assume that the 86 are going to be honorably fighting to their death. They might think, okay, I mean, certainly they're not stupid, right? So they must also think that, hey, it's a possibility that the 86 are not going to put up any sort of fighting chance against the Swarm. So that means that they probably still have some contingency plans themselves as well, or at least they are still confident in their own abilities to defend themselves, right? I'm not sure if I can buy the entire, okay, because the Republic just believes, or at least they believe that they can last out, right? Even if the 86 completely collapse, they believe they can still last out at least 2 years before their expected decline of the Swarm and so on and so forth. But yeah, in any case, that definitely speaks volumes as to some of the more questionable things that they were doing around all this, right? It's one thing to say, because I feel like this, you know, this kind of situation really fits in much more with the, you know, the Albas really don't care about the lives of the 86 at all. They just view them as cannon fodder and whatnot. So if that was the case, then why even let them have, you know, term limits and allow them to have a life after the war or something of that sort, right? It definitely doesn't feel correct in that sort of way. And basically, what I'm basically saying is that, you know, this whole thing makes sense here. So that's also why I wasn't that shocked by this revelation, because that's just the logical outcome of this, right? Now, we can definitely still theorize some other stuff. Like, for instance, I do believe the general public doesn't know about this situation here, right? So beyond just a rebellion by the 86, right, I think there's also the possibility of a revolution within the Republic itself. Potentially, I think those that know about this situation are those in power, perhaps the military or others from the Republic. If the general public was to know about this situation, I don't know. I kind of feel like a lot of people probably would not, you know, view this too well either, right? You know, I definitely am still thinking about this situation in terms of like World War II, Nazi Germany, and all that. You know, the top leadership, that's one thing. What do the normal, you know, German soldiers or the German publics, you know, what does public opinion really feel about the entire situation with Jews and so on and so forth, right? That's what I'm getting to here. And so I feel like, well, obviously, with this reveal here, Lena is going to go completely bonkers. She might try to make a scene or whatnot. But I feel like what this is leading to is actually her trying to reveal this situation at large to the general public and whatnot, and then incite public opinion against what is happening here. Right? I feel like that's probably how we are going to well, it's going to be one of the points that we reach, and that's going to help us reach the conclusion of the situation. Like, obviously, we still need to, you know, fight off the Swarm first and all that, but that's for those on the battlefield, right? Back at home, back at the capital and whatnot, something definitely needs to change as well to kick those out of power to reverse the situation for the 86. And by the way, they were talking about the, how Anju, right? So there was this like branding mark on Anju and so on and so forth. so on and so forth. I think what that's basically implying here is that, so they mentioned that Shin and Ju and some others, they actually have Elba blood within them as well, and so they were probably mistreated by the 86, right? Because the 86 like, oh, you Elbas are all pigs, you deserve to die, and so on and so forth. So anyone within the 86 that has Elba blood would also be prejudiced and have bad things happen to them, right? And this would probably also explain why Shin had been to District 1 and knows of some of the more well-to-do sites from that place, right? Well-off families of that place. He was probably from a well-off family as well, and only because of his mixed race, his mixed blood, that caused him to also be viewed as an 86, kicked out, and now is on this battlefield. So that's probably what this situation is all about. As for how we're going to continue on, I think it's kind of ironic that this is the episode where I chose to reveal. I think most of them are probably going to die before the series is ending. I still, after this episode, I further stand by my point. I honestly feel that out of all the spearheads, probably at most Shin and maybe one or two others will survive. And heck, if I were to guess, I would actually say the entirety of the spearheads, including Shin, will eventually perish before we reach the end of this series, right? Lena is certainly going to carry on the will and cause, for me anyways, this is obviously jumping really ahead of myself and whatnot, but I feel like the conclusion to this series is probably a situation where the spearheads all die. They are going to be viewed as like heroes, martyrs for the new republic, if you will. Lena is probably going to be the major catalyst for the sparking the revolution, the rebellion, whatever you want to call it, to bring down the current government and install a completely new republic. Whereas the original spearheads and whatnot, they are going to die martyrs, fighting off the swarm, and perhaps even eventually figuring out a way to completely defeat the swarm, right? I feel like this is setting up the situation to go towards that kind of ending. I definitely feel that this is it's more realistic to expect a bittersweet ending instead of a grand happy ending where everybody survives and everybody lives happily ever after, that kind of thing, right? So, yeah. Beyond that, what else to say for this particular episode? Well, again, I just love how the anime builds on what is already a pretty great work from the original, right? I mentioned this during the ending credits and whatnot, but I feel like this is an example of adaptation that really brings out and adds value to the original work, right? Because the visuals, the sound design, how it has the swells in music, how the battlefield sounds, that kind of stuff, and combined with the visuals, like for instance that scene in the palace, right, where we have Lena, stealing her resolve, saying that she's going to help everyone and so on and so forth. You have the rising music, you have that climax of the fireworks and all that. Really great. I keep on saying this, but it's just so rare. Honestly, it's so rare to see an anime adaptation do well and not mess up in some sort of way the original work, right? I've always been of the stance that the original work probably is superior to the anime adaptation. There are very few works where I feel like the anime adaptation actually adds value to the original work. I mean, obviously you can always put in visuals, put in sound effects, and so on and so forth, right? But to really, drive the story to another level and whatnot, that is definitely something that is far and few between. And I think 86, even with no previous understanding of the original work and whatnot, at least this is not a series where I go into it questioning, this doesn't really make sense. Did they leave out some information or whatnot? I mean, honestly, it very might well have left out some information, right? Those that do watch the original work and whatnot can maybe answer a little bit more about this. But beyond that, though, I have to say, yeah, it is great. Or actually, is this? Yeah, this is adaptation, right? This is adaptation. So, yeah, this is absolutely great so far. At least I am not you know, even if it did leave out some important stuff and whatnot, at the very least, the storyboarding up to this point has allowed it to give a good flow, so that I don't really feel like anything is missing, right? If that makes sense. So yeah, anyways, that's it for now. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.